afternoon. Now we're going to have a presentation about introducing our major. Before we start our speech, now we're going to introduce ourselves. My name is Hyunyoung, Kyunghwa, Eddie.
And Simi.
We're going to start with introducing our major and next career, and lastly the spotlight. Let's move on to the next page. We all have different majors, so we are going to introduce 4 majors. And first one is mine. Kyunghwa, can you guess my major?
Maybe veterinary medicine.
Correct! My major is veterinary medicine.
What do you learn in your major?
I learn medical, biological, and zoological subjects. The specific subject in our major will be veterinary microbiology, pathology, and surgery, so on.
That's great. Why you think your major is important?
My major is important because it helps not only the animal but also the human. As people are raising more pets, they are deeply more connected with each other. And by studying the animals, it also helps the human who take care of their pets. So my major is important.
So, let's move on to the next picture. Whose major is that?
That's mine.
Oh, Kyunghwa, your major might be geology.
It's close but wrong. My major is history. This picture is historical spot.
Oh, I didn't know that. What do you study there?
We learn history. I mean everything about history. We learn Korean, Eastern, Western history, and introduction to history.
You know very well about your major. Why is your major important?
A lot of people think that history is useless, but I don't think so. The great names of history can become our role model. In 1965, Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill said, "A nation that forgets its history has no future." So, studying history is very valuable for our future.
Oh, I see. The next major is mine. Who will guess my major?
Me. Your major is mass communication and journalism, right?
Wow, you're really good at guessing. My major is mass communication and journalism.
I haven't heard much about your major. Please talk more about it.
In my major, there are simply 3 sections: newspaper, broadcasting, and advertisement. So, in these 3 sections, we learn about very various things like broadcasting and advertisement, newspaper, or how to write an article, communication, public opinion, and many other things.
Good explanation. Why is it important?
Society is becoming more complex. There are so many different opinions and information. So the communication and media that conveys information becoming more important, and uh, connecting between people and mediating social conflict will be core skills.
I see. So the last one, finally, mine.
Your major is English education, right?
Great. It was a nice guess.
Why did you choose your major?
I chose my major because of educational service activities when I was a high school student. As I did volunteering repeatedly, I had a passion to be a teacher.
Oh, I see. And what do you learn in your major?
We teach class in English for 15 minutes instead of our professors and write English essay with some topics and provide peer feedback for improving our quality of essay. And we also analyze the English words, sentences, and structures.
And let's move on to our next page. We're going to introduce our major career and the spotlight.
Hyunyoung, what do you want to be after your graduation?
Actually, I want to be a doctor of the animal hospital. They cure sick animals and they make them have health check and they vaccinate animals.
Why do you want to be doctor or of animal hospital?
As people take care more of their pets, they think of their pets as a life companion, calling them companimal.
Companion.
They take care and cure the companimals, so it will be very worthwhile to be one.
That job sounds very nice. Is there any other job you can get from your major?
Uh, After I graduate the veterinary medicine, there are many other ways to go. For example, the veterinary government, or the researcher of the Veterinary Research Institute, and the professor, and so on. Because there are so many other ways to go, so the veterinary student must think of what they want to be and what they really want to do.
Perfect. Now, can you tell me about this person? Who is she?
Her name is Jane Goodall, geologist. She went to Africa to study chimpanzees by field research. She lived there for 40 years and became friends with them. She figured out two big things in there, and the first one was that chimpanzees was non-vegetarian. It was known that chimpanzees were vegetarian, but it wasn't. And the other one she figured out was that the chimpanzees could use tools. People thought that only humans could use tools, but it wasn't. Without her effort, this kind of wild animals data couldn't be known. So with her passion, she was a great person who contributed to our field.
It seems she's a very nice person.
Yes, let's move on to next major, history. Come on, what do you want to be in the future?
I think the most important job is history teacher. For teenager, teacher plays an important part in making teens view of history and how much they get interested in history. In my case, my middle and high school teacher has passion on their job, so I chose history as my major.
Oh, I think you will definitely be a good teacher because you have always passion in studying history. Is there any job you can get in a major?
If you study just history, you can be a professor or researcher. Or you can, if you study history with archaeology, you can be an archaeologist who dig for artifacts. Or you can have your job as curator, author, and producer, and so on.
Wow, there are pretty lots of jobs you can get. Yes, might be Yu Song-ryung.
Yes, he is.
Tell me about him.
He is Yu Sung-young. Is he he plays an active role in background. Have you ever heard about the name of Lee Sun-shin, or have you ever heard about the Japanese invasion of Korea in 1592?
Yes.
Yeah. Yu Sung-young recommended Lee Sun-shin as a important position, so Lee Sun-shin can fight with Japanese. And second, he introduced new bomb called 비격 진천회. It was time bomb. And also, he adopted a new military system called 훈련 도감. Finally, he set up diplomatic relations with Myeong, today's China. Myeong doubts the relations of Joseon and Japanese. To resolve this misunderstanding, he go to Myeong and meet General of Myeong and request troops. As a result, Myeong sent troops to Joseon. Myeong to Joseon. And although he didn't go to war, but he was also hero of Joseon.
Wow,
Wow.
I didn't know that he was such a hero. Then let's move on to the next one. What can you be after you graduate from your major?
First, we can be a journalist. The meaning of journalist in dictionary is person who writes for newspaper or prepares the news to broadcast on TV or radio. Like this, journalists report the news about the case important in society or information people should know. Journalists should have accurate, balanced, and objective reporting. Also, the other job I want to introduce is producer. Producer is person who is responsible for making of contents. They make very various contents such as TV program, drama, TV, radio, or many performance or concerts. And in addition to that, there are also many jobs we can have, such as advertisement or marketing expert, photographer, or researcher of social science.
That sounds great. It's interesting that you can work in those many fields. Then next, the spotlight. He is Son Seok-ki, right?
Yeah, he is Son Seok-ki.
Is he the famous person in your major? Tell me about him.
As you already know, he is Son Seok-ki, who was chosen as the most influential journalist in consecutive 12 years, and he was also chosen as most honorable person in the survey targeting office worker. He was the anchor of MBC, and he is now anchor and president of JTBC. He stood firm in what he believed the fairness of news against the political power in every situation. So he has been considered as a reliable journalist.
What a great anchor he is.
Yeah, I agree. I'm moving on to the last major, the English education. You're definitely being an English teacher, right?
Of course I am. Actually, most of students in my major try to be an English teacher. English teacher is necessary and important in our society. As the world becomes more multicultural and more, we need to study English as a second language. So it is critical to teach English to students. And my major is related to education. So it is so important in terms of making versatile students. Education is also important according to educating someone that people grow to be good people or not. And furthermore, after graduating from our major, some people try to be an education administrator. In Korea, the education curriculum makes students compete seriously, so they try to make a reformed curriculum, not to make them compete with each other, but to make them cooperate each other without a serious competition.
Oh, I didn't know that there was other ways of being English teacher.
Finished. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Next team, please. Next team.